Okay. Good evening. We will now reconvene to open session. It is approximately 6:31. Announcements of actions taken in closed session.
There were no actions taken in closed session, and let the record reflect that Ms. Trustee Norma Aguilar arrived at 5:28 p.m.
Thank you. Moving on to G, comments from the public. The board will now take any and all comments from the public related to an item on the agenda or any other item of district business that is not on the agenda. So we do have requests for oral communications. The first one is Ms. Virginia Gomez.
My name is Virginia Gomez. First of all, good evening, members of the board and members of the public. I work as a 6-hour employee at Calexico High School, 9th grade campus. I'm a library media technician there. And I'm here because I want to comment regarding the increase of my insurance rates. For many years that I've been working as a 6-hour employee, I've always paid in the vicinity of $250. Well, in the beginnings of this month, I received a letter stating that my insurance rates were going to be raised to $435. And that's almost a $200 increase in less than 30 days notice. Okay, well, that really threw me in for a shock, and this is for medical only. This news, like I said, it really took me for a shock, because had I known this, I would have applied for the 8-hour library media tech opening that was at Willie Moreno. That's an 8-hour position, and 8-hour employees do not pay for insurance. They get it free. So had I known that I was going to pay up to $435, I would have applied for that position. I'm not saying that I would have gotten it, but I think I would have stood a very good chance, because I've been employed with the district for 20 years. I've had very good evaluations, and I think I would have deserved it this time to get the free insurance. So anyway, I'm here because, wow, this is a big increase. It was not enough time to really. I haven't even signed the paperwork yet, because I want to know why. I understand that mistakes are made, and I understand there was a mistake made, but still, this mistake affects me, and that I want to state again that I would have applied for the 8-hour position, and I would have had a chance to get the free insurance. And I ask that the board, take into consideration this large increase. It says there's 30 employees that are going to be affected. So please take serious consideration and, give us more time to decide what we're going to do. And I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Moving on to the next request for oral communication, Estrada.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Elvira Estrada. I'm an instruction assistant at Rockwood Elementary. I've been working for almost 22 years. And the same for me is as Ms. Virginia Gomez. Each year, I have to pay an increase on my health insurance. I have a family plan. Mine went up almost $200 in a month notice. And I think it's been increasing almost $100 for the past 3 years. And there has, like this year, they say there was no increase in the health insurance, and we're getting a almost $200 increase. And it affects my income, because if I get $2,000, I only take home $1,000. And I don't work summer. Not every summer I get to work summer school, and it really affects my house income. And there's a lot of other ladies that are paying too. You know, when I started a 6-hour, it was in 2003. I think I was one of the second in line for this increase. In the year 2000, we started the 6-hour positions paying for our health insurance. The other ladies that are 6 hours don't pay health insurance if they were lucky enough to get higher before 2000. And it really does affect a lot of us that are, like Virginia said, there are 30 of us that had an increase of 100 or more. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. All items appearing will be acted upon by one motion without discussion. Trustees, is there an item you would like to pull, or is there a motion?
A motion to approve.
Motion to approve the consent agenda by Trustee Real, second by Trustee Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to informational items. I-1, Superintendent's Report.
Good evening, trustees. Good evening, community. Just reporting that we had a very good start of the school year. Myself and our district-wide administrative team visited all the schools on the first day and made sure that everything was functional. But by the time we got there, all of our principals and site administrators, classroom teachers, front office staff, custodians, everyone had taken care of the business that needed to take care of at all of our schools. As with every single year, we have minor glitches at all school sites, but the overall consensus from all of our sites is that they had a positive beginning and a lot of positive comments. Of course, we do have some concerns with our growing enrollment, and particularly we have some community members who are upset that their children did not end up in their school of residence. We have children being moved between elementary schools because of capacity enrollment, but for the most part, we are resolving those matters. There are some moves, particularly from Cesar Chavez to Kennedy Gardens to Jefferson to Blanche Charles. But the reality is that our classrooms are getting to capacity. We're going to be, I think, advertising for 2 more teaching positions at Rockwood, for example, because of our growing enrollment. So more to come, and we're excited that we have our students back. We're excited that we're into our school year and that our community is responsive to being patient. And I know that you've had to take a few calls, but the reality is that we're doing the best that we can with our students, and we thank our community for trusting us with their children. We have ongoing projects. The major ones are at Calexico High School. Varner Gym should be done probably by mid-October. We also have the football field bleachers, and you have some items on the agenda regarding the bleachers, and hopefully once we get through them, we'll have a more finite date as to when we'll get our bleachers going. We will have hopefully our first home football game in the third week of September. We do make some adjustments, but we look forward to welcoming our community. And that'll be all for now.
Thank you. Moving on to I2, association comments. Are there any comments from ACT? Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is James Taylor. I'm the president of Associated Calexico Teachers. I, as a teacher and a parent, think it is fantastic that our district and school board have a resolution to support Prop 55 on the agenda tonight. This proposition will ensure that the healthy budget that has helped our students in this district and all over the state of California will continue on for another 12 years. I've spoken about this proposition at other board meetings in the past and how Calexico teachers helped gather some of the million signatures collected in support of getting this proposition on the ballot. It's wonderful to know that our efforts may be shared by our school board tonight. I don't think anyone in this room wants to see our budget descend to what it used to be. I don't think anyone in this room would like to see the class size reduction our educators and parents have fought so hard for reverse course. I can't imagine that anyone in this room would like to see the age of pink slips and RIF notices for our hardworking teachers return and tear at the heart of our district. So I hope that in addition to this resolution tonight, all those involved in our school district and all of those who care about our students, our schools, and our teachers will vote yes on Prop 55 this November. I'd also like to speak a bit about test scores. Just yesterday, our state test scores were released. In the past, this was a day some of us looked forward to, but it was also a day that many of us dreaded. Back in the days of No Child Left Behind, those scores spelled certain doom for some of our schools. As these tests that focused on memorization instead of critical thought were used as the only measure by which our students, and thus our schools and teachers, were judged. But today, California is taking a better route toward assessing our schools. Test scores are just one aspect of student learning and engagement that is being looked at. I would like the district to keep this in mind as we proceed this year and beyond this year. In addition to test scores, the state will also be measuring how well we service our students in terms of high school graduation rates. They will look at how often our administration suspends students. They will want to see that our English learners are progressing toward English proficiency, and they will want to know that we are leading our students down a college and career pathway that will ultimately give our kids the successful lives we want for them. Our CTE courses and instructors have never been so valuable. Our A through G offerings have never been so essential. Ultimately, we have to approach how we view success in our schools with an open lens. We have to see the whole forest, not just the one tree that has the test scores etched on it. Our teachers are willing and able to help our district reach the goals it needs in terms of these many new measures. And I think that when we are able to do that, our students and as a result, our community will truly thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any association comments from CSEA?
Good evening, board members and public of the audience. Sonia Redona, California School Employees Association President. I handed out earlier to you, board members, the list of those 30 employees that are 6 hours that are being affected with these increase of premiums that they have to pay. I did follow change of command. I had a meeting with them today, and the reason, as you can see, in 2013-14, the employees were paying $330.41. 14-15, they were paying $329.98. 15-16, they were paying $328.39 out of their pocket. What happened? That the department made an error. Those were not the correct rates. So this year, they corrected the rates, which from $328.31, the employee now has to pay $583.47, which is $255 more. They received 2-3 letters with the correct amount. They received the letter in August. Their deduction would start in September. Our premium for Blue Cross did not go up, but these 6-hour employees that are underpaid, they get a hit with it. I asked that the board, please waive this increase until next year. It's not their fault that the department didn't look at this in 3 years. And it's only, and these people work 6 hours. They don't get insurance. Our teachers work 6.75 hours and they get free insurance. Where's the equal on everybody under the insurance? You board members have 2 meetings out of the month. You guys get insurance. And these people that work 6 hours, they're going to get hit by $253 more because somebody made a mistake and they corrected this year, said, sorry, we gave you the wrong rates 3 years ago, but these are the correct rates. I urge you, board, to please let them pay the same rate they did last year, and the following year, let's start a new year with them. Let's get them prepared so they know what's coming. These people have electricity bills to pay. They need to put food on the table. It's not their mistake. So I urge you to please let them pay the same rate that we're doing last year. Starting the following year, give them the rates, but don't give them a month before they start the deduction. I think it's unfair. And I think it's unfair because I asked for the contract with the memo where CSCA signed off that these members have to pay. Like the lady stated, in 2003, those that were 6 hours are not paying. So right now we got a split. We have people that are 6 hours, they don't pay. We have people, new ones, that are paying now. Under the Affordable Care Act, a 6-hour employee is considered full-time. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to I3, Pool Committee. Is there anything to report? Nothing to report at this time. Insurance Committee? Nothing to report as well. ROP Committee?
In regards to the IVROP, good evening, everyone. We met last Thursday after having the summer off. Some of our administrators are going around meeting with principals around the valleys, high schools, to ensure they're discussing the pathways that we have in our CTCs and ensuring that we are on track. So you'll be getting some visits from IVROP. Ms. Williams is here? She here? All right. If you haven't had the visit, I'm sure there'll be someone coming to visit you and talk to you about your CTCs. And that's all I have.
Thank you. On the Safety Committee? Nothing to report. LCAP Committee? Nothing to report. Thank you. Moving on to I4, Board Reports. These are informational reports by board members. No action is taken. We're going to start at my left. Trustee Aguilar?
Good evening. First of all, I want to address Ms. Radona's comments. She brings up some items that I think should be considered in terms of the short notice. However, I do want to clarify that by waiving it, that's a gift of public funds, and you realize that's not legal. Although I would ask that perhaps we could look to spreading out the payment of that rather than asking for them to pay the whole amount in one shot. But
It's every month.
It's every month?
Every month.
Okay, so
It's every month. So instead of paying 200, 300, you're going to be paying 500.
okay.
Can't split it no more.
I know I can't really engage, and you understand that. So I would,
Just want to inform you guys.
right, thank you. And I do want to talk to you, but I can't engage at this moment. But I do want to talk with you because you brought up something that sparked something in regards when I was in CSEA. So let's try to talk. And thank you. I did want to bring to the board's attention that I did get contacted by several parents that have concerns in regard to the being able to access the school of residence. And I had some parents contact me via social media that they were concerned with the fact that, that they're seeing so many blatant advertisements for rental of addresses. And in fact, what I did is I directed them to contact Elisa or the district office, and to please provide contact information, phone numbers that they find, and so forth in regards to that. And some of them pointed out, that we previously had somebody that would verify the addresses, and so some of them asked for us to consider of either finding a part-time or a full-time or some kind of way to being able to assist in determining whether these residencies are accurate. The other thing that I would like to request, I'd like to request a report. What percentage at our schools, what percentage of students are out of residence assignments? In other words, what percentage of our student population at each school site is from outside, and is that displacing people who actually live in the area and are not being able to have their child attend their school of residency? And I would encourage the community, if they find those type of reports of people offering their address for rent, to please provide, contact our district office and provide that information, because together I've provided phone numbers that I come across and so forth. So I encourage people to do the same. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Real?
Good afternoon to everybody. I want to welcome everybody back to 2016-17 school year, and I want to wish everybody the best this year. And hopefully these past 4 days haven't been pretty heavily on everyone, with everybody trying to get their child enrolled, taking them to see who their teachers are. So I just want to wish everybody the best this school year, and hopefully our numbers keep increasing and getting more teachers, so that we don't increase the ratio for TKs to third grade. We do want to keep our classrooms 24 ratio. I also wanted to ask, I know Mai's not here, the last meeting we did ask she was going to start looking up as numbers for rentals for the swimming pool. I know we said not on the other facilities, because it has come up that members of the community have reached out for the baseball fields. And I know months before even Norma came on board, we did discuss and gave direction what was going to happen for the nonprofit who did request to use those facilities.
And she'll be bringing, we'll have something on the agenda for the next board meeting. It's planned as an item for the next board meeting when she will be here.
Okay. And I think that's all I have. I want to wish everybody best of luck.
Thank you. Going on to Trustee Calderon Jr.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'll be short tonight. Welcome to a new year, and hopefully we can make this a good year. Again, thank you, faculty, parents, teachers, everyone, employees. Hopefully we can make it a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I just want to welcome everybody back. And I would just like to express, in regards to Ms. Rendona's concern, I do agree that it's short notice, and it is a drastic increase, and it will have impacts on all of these families. So just know it's not falling on deaf ears. Okay. And other than that, that's all I have. So we'll move on to J, action items, consideration and action or approval of the following items. J1, Memorandum of Understanding between the Imperial County Office of Education and Calexico Unified School District for payroll clerk services.
And for this item, Imperial County Office of Education contracts a payroll clerk to do auditing services for all districts, and all districts are charged a fee for those payroll clerk services, and it's established at a rate of $8.60 per employee. So our recommendation is that the board approve this memorandum of understanding so that we can pay for the service.
Okay. Trustees are... No, I'm sorry.
It's on a yearly basis, or?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what services is this providing that we are not already providing?
This is an additional service that ICOE is providing to all districts so they can come and do audits of all that's payroll. That's something that they hadn't been doing before, and so now that they've got the staffing for that, they wish for all of the districts to pay for that service so that they can come out and do the audits for all payroll services.
So that will mean that we will not have to have outside audit, or
we would still have to have outside audit. This is just for payroll.
May I say something?
Yes. Please step to... Thank you.
Don't we have employees to do this?
That's what she...
What I believe it is, back years, we used to have the audit services from the county. When we sent the payroll, this audit clerk would check the payroll at the county, make sure the notices were right, make sure the salaries were correct, make sure that we were doing the correct payments. Like I had mentioned before, I am the payroll clerk for the certificate, and it's growing so much. There's definitely a need for another pair of eyes to check our work.
Okay.
And all districts do that. Thank
Okay.
you.
Ms. Redona, would this audit also the deductions, like your insurance and so forth?
Yes, nothing. I don't know about the insurance, but I know it's the notice of employment, payment history, make sure that the payment is accurate, what I pay, make sure the coding is correct. And what they do is, before they run the payroll, they would call me and say, you know what? This is in the correct amount. I need you to check it before I run the payroll. So they catch the errors before it's actually done.
Generated.
And so you won't have an overpayment. I highly recommend this. Thank you.
Thank you. Is
Thank
there
you.
any other questions or discussion? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Trustee Calderon Jr. Is there a second? Second by Trustee Real. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to J2, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and CPM Educational Program for Professional Development.
CPM is a math program that we have in grades 6 through 12 here at Calexico Unified. It's our new curriculum, and so this MOU will allow CPM to work with our district to develop a coaching model to further support our math teachers and the integration of the CPM math curriculum in all of our schools. And through this MOU, CPM would provide our CUSD math teachers 10 days of coaching, and the recommendation is that this item be approved.
Trustees, are there any questions or discussion?
Yeah, well, I have a question for Ms. Ambriz. Is this not an additional training for them? Because didn't we approve something similar before the year was over?
Yes, this is an additional coaching component for them. So they would come out, the company would come out here 10 different times in the year to work with our teachers to help them, to coach them through the process of using this curriculum, provide them additional strategies, observe them as they're doing the teaching of the program, so that they can provide them immediate feedback based on their research as well.
So this is the same company we approved?
Yes.
They're just coming back?
Yes.
Okay, all right. I have a motion to approve.
Motion by Trustee Calderon Jr. Is there a second?
Second.
second by trustee Real. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to J3, Memorandum of Understanding between Calexico Unified School District and Imperial County Office of Education for STEM kits for 7th and 8th graders.
As you know, our district contracts with El Centro Elementary for science kits. So similar to those science kits, we also contract with ICOE for STEM kits, which is the science, technology, engineering, and math kits for 7th and 8th graders. And this MOU would allow us to use the kits that are hands-on engineering curriculum for our students. It's the actual materials and the professional development that go with it, and it's recommended that our board approves it, and the duration of the use of the kits are from late August to December of 2016. First semester,
Yeah,
yes.
we use these kits for the summer, in the summer. Then we have a summer school that had
That had STEM, yes, and so this is for the first semester of the school year,
a follow-up.
yes.
Okay. Motion.
Second.
Motion by trustee Calderon Jr., second by trustee Aguilar. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to J4, Proposal for a prefabricated modular restroom at Ward Field.
So the situation that we have going on right now at Ward Field is that we need to get a new restroom facility that is DSA compliant and that it is ADA compliant as well. And so we have provided an estimate to the board for a 12 by 40 modular restroom on a piggyback bid with Silver Creek Industries. And the actual piggyback is for about $116,000 with it installed. But it doesn't include the on-site preparation. That would come at a later time for about another $50,000 to $60,000. And this price is for the one with wood siding. If we wanted to do one with stucco side, that would be about $45,000 more to that price. So I recommend that the board select the one that would likely last us the longest, because this will become the permanent restroom facility at Ward Field, and I would recommend that the board approve one that would allow us to get the one that has the stucco on it. But again, that would be the board's recommendation and decision.
That you sent, none of those are
The ones that I sent you are the ones with the stucco. Because those are the ones that we were able to get photos of. I don't have it here.
Are there any other questions or discussion?
Well, I do. In terms of, well, we know that this is what's holding up our DSA approval.
bleachers.
Correct.
Correct. So at the fence, there's the ticket booth, and I'm just concerned that that'll be next to be looked at, that it'll hold up our DSA approval. Has anybody looked in to see whether that's in compliance? Are we going to be, because we don't, it has no air conditioning, it's a small confined area?
The definition for what needs DSA approval, and just so that the community is aware of what we're speaking about, as you know, we're going for new home side and visitor side bleachers at Calexico High School. They need to be DSA approved. The plans need to be DSA approved, and DSA has held them up because the restroom facilities do not have an A number. They are nowhere on DSA's records. So DSA came into existence in the 1970s. The restroom building came up in the 1950s. So for DSA, any building that came up prior to its inception, they didn't really touch them unless you're going to modernize or significantly upgrade them. The DSA approval process now is only for structures that are required for the field. For a football field, if you're going to have bleachers, you need to have a restroom. You don't necessarily have to have a concession stand. You don't necessarily have to have a ticket booth. But you definitely have to have ADA compliant restrooms. And that is the issue that we have encountered, that if we can get the restrooms approved tonight, we can add these to the DSA application, send it through tomorrow. We do know that it'll be probably 6 to 8 weeks for them to go through the application, which will obviously hold up our project. But Mr. Nielsen and I are working with, hopefully, Mr. Sanders, to get in contact with DSA and see if we can go visit DSA and do a personal appeal, because we were not aware that they were not a part of the plan to begin with. This is, again, the building came up in the 50s, DSA came up in the 70s, and we're dealing with this in the 2010s. So we, as a, I applaud the board and our team, because we've done a lot to the community, to our schools. We've done a lot to the facilities in our district. And our commitment to our community is that our students receive the facilities, not just the facilities that they deserve, but the facilities that they need. And so I think that our board should be applauded for, even though they have to make difficult decisions, and even though they have to encounter people from the community asking, well, you said the football field would be ready by September 23rd, or you said the football field would be ready by October, mid-October. Well, yes, we did. But we encounter things that are beyond our control. And these beyond our controls is, we never envisioned that the restrooms were not on anybody's plan here in our district, and they were not on anybody's plan at the state level, because they are not in the Department of State Architects' floor plans.
Thank you.
So at issue here is, does the district want to secure this modular building which is wood siding, for $116, or pay the extra $45,000 or so and get a one with a stucco? My recommendation is that the board invest the additional dollars, but then again, this is finance, and make the decision that is best for the district.
Now I have a question. How many restrooms are actually in the module that you guys are?
Mr. Sanders can address that one.
Because I know the bleachers is going to say how many people, like 2,000, or what was the number?
The boys' restroom has 2 toilets, 2 urinals, and 2 lavatories, and the girls' toilet, or the girls' side, has 2 lavatories and 4 toilets.
It's smaller than what we have now.
It's a 12
Well, because we don't have urinals, but yeah. Well, this is, and it's just my opinion. We pay a lot of money to everyone, not only to you, but to our teams and everybody, to make an assessment of what we have out there. And I'm not blaming anyone. I'm just voicing my opinion that we're going to have to go out there and rent some bleachers again, because we need to have our football games. But I hope that you would go out there and survey the whole area to make sure that next time we send something to DSS, it gets approved right away. Because every time that we don't get anything approved, it's costing us money.
It's a delay.
Especially those restrooms, because we know those restrooms are filthy, they're antiquated, they're not ADA compliant. In fact, they have termites. So someone should have picked it up. So all I'm asking, that before we do send something to DSA again, that we actually survey the whole area and make sure that we are spending our money wisely, because every dollar that we have to spend here is $1 less for our kids. So, and with that said, hopefully we can get this going. I like to see these restrooms installed right away. And my final question to you would be, when do you foresee all this being completed? Because I'm now I'm being told, and actually I heard it as a rumor, that our all-weather track is not going to be installed until probably late October.
The AC paving, it was always the schedule for the all-weather track project to complete over the summer the installation of the curbs, the base, and the AC paving. And the AC paving will be completed September 2nd. Then there's a window of 4 to 6 weeks that we need to install the actual all-weather surface. And so when you do that, you can't have any traffic on the field or crossing the track. And so it was always the schedule. We were going to come back after the football season. As soon as the last game of the football season is over, we would allow the track people to come and install the all-weather surface. At that point, you have to limit, the soccer team. Nobody can access the actual field, and be done by January 1, so that the soccer team could come back as soon as school came back. Or school started after the first season.
So when is the projected date that we'll be able to use that field in its entirety?
With the all-weather surface?
Well, yeah, everything. Because, see, we were told something different, but maybe we can fix this by actually putting a schedule out to let our community know what we're actually going to have and when it's going to be ready and so forth. Because we're at a loss. At least I'm at a loss, because I was told that everything would be done by our first game, which is early October or late September. But now I'm being told, I'm being informed that it's not that date. So,
right, yeah. So the all-weather track will be complete January 1. Yeah. And there. You could come back and complete it before that, but then we would have to keep, again, everybody off the field in order to do that.
How long does it have to be without being with traffic on it?
4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I was told it was 5 to 7 days. So okay.
Yeah. To install the track is the all-weather surface. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got a question in regards to the restrooms. The recommendation is what we have before us, but is there a formula as to, a ratio of how many stalls? Is there anything? Are we in compliance with that? Do we have enough restrooms for the amount of
The capacity that we have in the football field, that's why I was asking.
or are we just saying, let's just get these restrooms because that's the closest thing that we have? Is that
Well, so the requirement is that we provide ADA restrooms, and so with this modular building, prefabricated modular building, we will provide the ADA restrooms. So do we have enough restrooms? If you were to do the calculation for the 2,000 people plus the 1,000 on the visitors and home side, no. But is that going to hold up our approvals? No.
we may, well, if someone hasn't thought of this, maybe we need to think about that. We, in addition, if we're obviously we're going to have to make a decision, and obviously we're not going to make a decision to have restrooms, but perhaps somebody needs to sit down and do that calculation, and then maybe we need to rent additional restrooms, because the last thing we want to do is have angry dancing people at football games. If you know what I mean. I try not to be graphic, but you know.
How big are these restrooms? Do you have the measurements?
It's 12 feet by 40 feet.
12 by 40.
40 feet long, 12 feet wide.
So I really don't think it's going to be enough restrooms.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
So, my recommendation would be, I'm motioning to approve this proposal and give direction that we look into having additional restrooms available. But before we go forward on that, so if you have a prefab modular restroom, can you add to it later on?
No.
No.
Wow.
I think I would venture more to have
A bigger?
the home and the visitors,
A restroom.
a visitor's restroom, would make a lot more sense.
I know it's gonna cost money.
But it's another 115 plus the 60,000 to install.
Plus wiring, plus plumbing, plus
Yeah, plus the stucco.
plus extra overtime.
Oh, God.
Right
Well,
now,
we're due for restrooms. That I can attest to that.
right now, the recommendation is that we approve this, and then as we move forward and we get the project completed, we can add either to another part of the football field, funding permitting.
Can, I motion to approve with the caveat that we look into having additional rental restrooms available.
Is that with the stucco or without?
That's without the stucco. Let's use the money from the stucco to use for the rental. I mean, that's my.
We used all the money from Measure J, correct?
What's that?
We used all the money from Measure J.
Unless you want me to change my motion, you want me to change it to stucco, I'll go stucco if you want stucco, but
They're gonna be permanent.
They're forever.
And if they're gonna last, they're
Well,
50.
ask them what the maintenance is. Stucco is not as. The wood is it termite friendly or no?
is it the recommendation for the stucco based on aesthetics or based on longevity?
Both. The stucco looks nicer. The idea was to provide a modular type unit that looks permanent. And so
Okay.
if you do the T111 siding, like the relocatables, the standard relocatables, those all come with that wood siding. Well, this would have that same wood siding. So there's two reasons. One, it looks nicer, but two, the stucco will last much longer. We replace that T111 siding on relocatable units quite often because it's just a matter of time. Even when you keep it painted, it just starts to delaminate, and whereas the stucco will last 30, 40 years with no maintenance.
Okay, I withdraw my motion and
Well, Ms.
Monday.
Aguilar, I have one more question for him. Do we have modulars that are bigger, that have more urinals and more restrooms?
Yes, they do.
Well, what's the biggest size of modular that we can put in there? Because it might be better just to buy a bigger one than buy two or an additional one.
maybe.
But I know that the size is very limited where it's currently at, so I don't know how, if we can get a bigger modular instead of two. It would make
So- The intent, it's my understanding that it's not the intent to tear the one that's there down. All right, now that we certainly could do that,
Hear that.
but the intent was to add a 12 by 40 so that we had the ADA restrooms that's there. So,
Wow, that's new to me.
Yeah.
yeah.
I thought it was going where it's
All right.
the old ones
Okay,
at.
we're like.
Jeremy has said no, that I'm not correct there, that we are tearing that down. So.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
it's
we were all
not, it's not a
confused.
trophy or anything.
Okay.
And that's the location where the new one's going to go.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
And we were just discussing that there's a 24 by 40 that would probably double our restroom capacity.
Will fit in that area though, correct?
We'll make it fit.
Okay.
So, I mean, all around that is the concrete that we poured around it, and just to the north side of it, we just put the planters there. Those planters can be moved. I'm sure the width-wise and lengthwise it would fit just fine.
Okay,
So-
now my question is because this one's 12 by 40, the new one you says 24 by 40.
That's the-
I mean, will the price increase twice or will the price just go up? I mean, do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, no.
So we won't be able to.
I would suspect that those prices are based on square footage, and there might be a little bit of economy of scale just for shipping, but pretty much you can double it.
So, what-
I'm sure, I'm sorry, go ahead.
so my next question to you would be, say we approve it today for the purpose so that gets sent off to DSA and you guys go lobby so that blah, 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 whatever. And so, in the meantime, we're looking into getting that bigger modular. Could we swap it in? Could we swap it in?
Yes, you could. I think at this point, what we want to do is we want to get our approval, and then we can always come back and upgrade that. Yes, we could if you decide that the funds are available. But approving the 12 by 40 would allow us to move forward.
With the process?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, because the installation would be covered, correct? The 50 or 60,000 that we have to pay for the installation.
That is accurate. Yes.
And the only thing that we would pay was the extra footage on the bigger
yes
restroom. And how many more do you know? How many more urinals would it provide us?
Well,
And
I would need to do a layout, but I'm confident that we would be able to double those numbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better. I think if we're going to invest and it's going to be a permanent fixture, might as well
Yeah.
get our money's worth.
A motion to approve.
Motion to approve the 24 by 40. Go ahead. You had a
And is that stuff?
I think I broke my,
stucco. Yeah,
I used my Proctor voice.
Give it to me.
it's stucco.
Motion to approve
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the stucco building for the restroom facilities.
24 by 40.
24. Thank you. I won't drop this one. 24 by 40.
So there's a motion
I second.
to approve with the amendment of it being 24 by 40. Stucco, correct?
Yes.
Stucco.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
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 Motion passes unanimous.
One more question. Now that you got your approval, when can we get our restrooms? After the football season? I want you on tape.
So
It'll be submitted tomorrow, right, with DSA?
yeah, we'll go to DSA tomorrow, but this is a custom fabricated unit, so they're not going to start building it until we get our approvals, and so yeah, it will be after the season for you to have the restroom unit. But what it does allow us to do it again is to keep everything moving forward, because we've already contacted Silver Creek, and they're prepared to give us the drawings as soon as you approve it, so that we can add those to our set and get it up to DSA.
So how soon can the switch out be made in terms of getting the bigger restroom versus what we approved tonight?
I suspect that they would still be able to do that if not tomorrow, on Monday, just because those units, they also sell 24 by 40 units, and
Okay.
so I suspect that they're gonna have those drawings that they can get to us.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving on to J5.
And for J5, this is for the board to approve a provisional intern permit for a certificated employee. And this is in the area of special education.
Motion to
Motion.
approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by trustee Herrera, second by trustee Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Thank you. J6, resolution supporting Prop 55 for Children's Education and Healthcare Protection Act of 2016.
And we'll give credit where credit is due, even though this is something that we do support and that we were bringing to one of our future agendas. The person who put this on the agenda at this time was Trustee President Eric Ortega. And as stated by Mr. Taylor earlier, this would allow, if supporting Prop 55, and if it's approved, would allow Prop 30 to be extended, I believe, an additional 12 years. So that would help offset any state deficit absent an extension. Absent an extension of those 12 years of this tax, California could have at least a $4 billion deficit in its budget for education. So it is recommended that our board approve supporting Prop 55.
Are there any questions?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by trustee Calderon Jr. Is there a second? Second by trustee Real. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to J7, approval of 2016 I-7 application for categorical funding, Title I, Title II, and Title III.
And because we're a district that receives a categorical funding, we need to prepare a consolidated application for that funding, and not doing so means that we would not be able to access any of the categorical funds, which are primarily Title I for socioeconomically disadvantaged and low-achieving students, Title II, which provide professional development and training and recruitment of qualified staff, and Title III for addressing the needs of our English learners. It was submitted online to CDE on June 30th, and it's recommended that our board approve this item.
Thank you.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Calderon Jr.
Second.
Second by trustee, what's it, trustee Reyes?
Aguilar.
Oh, trustee Aguilar, sorry about that.
Both of them.
All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to J8, approval of superintendent contract for 2016-2018 school years. Are there any comments, discussion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by trustee Aguilar, second by trustee Real. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to J9, certificate employment report. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Calderon Jr. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Real. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to J10, classified employment report.
Motion.
Motion by trustee Aguilar, second by trustee Calderon Jr. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimous. Moving on to K, we will not be going back to closed session. Moving on to L, we are in open session. Moving on to N, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion by trustee Calderon Jr. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Real. All those in favor, please respond by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Record. That's a record.
Oh.